friends, welcome back to my channel. Join me at my dressing table today. I am going to refilm and re-talk through my video on how I set my hair because the old one was filmed on my old camera and is at this point very old, looks kind of crummy, and could do with some work. So we're gonna redo it today, and in the morning I will actually attach both halves and show you how I do my brush out. I have just hopped out of the shower where I shampooed and conditioned my hair, among other things, and then I put a little wrappy towel on because otherwise it drips everywhere. Woo! Didn't you always want to be in a movie where you could just like wing things off to the side? Isn't that... Uh-oh. Oh, Lord. So this was my fancy pretty comb that I bought, and it's just busted. All right, new comb. Take two. All right, so I'm gonna give my hair a quick comb through. Since I started setting my hair, I have noticed a lot of trouble with keeping enough moisture in it, so I still use, I think I used this in my last video, this stuff, just kind of cream. I apologize if you can hear my dog, who is outside my door crying because he wants in, but he wants in to eat my garbage, so he can't come in. Alright, so because I wear glasses usually, I can't actually see myself in this mirror very well, so just part my hair. So I part my hair just off to the side for that 40s, 50s. I think apparently after the 1800s being very symmetrical parts, the 20th century was all about the asymmetrical part, other than the hippies, but that was a whole different thing. And the 90s. I don't know. What am I talking about? All right, so setting spray. I still do use a lot of body sometimes, but I'm also now using this because I'm trying to support Black-owned businesses. I don't know if you can see it. It's Mielle. So the nice thing about this is I can kind of be generous with it and it doesn't screw my hair up too badly. Is that how we say that? Probably not. All right. So that's step one. From here, I have to wait probably 20 minutes to half an hour until my hair dries a bit more, because if I roll it like this, it's not going to dry by morning, which, considering it's only supper time now, is pretty incredible to think about, but is still the truth. So I will be back in 20 minutes or so. Okay, friends, we're back. My hair is now damp as opposed to wet, and you can now see, hopefully, that it's not actually shiny black. It was weird to look in the mirror and anyway, I'm babbling. Anyway, we're back. So setting patterns are a personal choice, and there's really no wrong way to do one. The biggest things to keep in mind are that you're going to have bumps where the curlers sit, and that because of those bumps, if you want waves, you have to line the curlers up. And those are really the two biggest hints I can give you. So, as always, I like to start on top because that's the most important, most visible spot. So my first two curlers, rollers, whatever the hell you want to call them, foam rollers, I over roll or overturn or over curl, or anyway, I start from way over there and I come to way back over here. Just hold on a second, I just pull that thing off. Whooshy, windy night. Alright, we got one. This is also the part where I remind you that my hair is incredibly thin. And you may require more rollers than I do. I'm also going to let everybody know I desperately need a haircut that I haven't gotten. So yeah, the ends are going to be a bit of a pain. Come on, come on. I find this is the hardest one. It doesn't want to sit down straight. All right, there we go. So now we continue down the side. So again, you're trying to take rough little squares. I usually use these ones from Goody on the side because they're slightly squishier than these ones, which are from a company called Annie's. Curling, curling, curling. As you get used to doing this, if you do it often, like anything else, it gets better with time. You kind of figure out where you, I shouldn't talk while I'm doing this. You figure out where you need an extra curl, where you need to split something up, where there's a bigger problem. All right, so I'm gonna take my glasses back off for a second because I'm gonna do just a little one right on top of my ear here. And this gives the front of my hair a nice little boost because otherwise this part gets kind of pulled to the back and it doesn't curl as nicely. Doop, 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 doop. Sound effects are required. Okay, and then we do exactly the same on this side. Okay, so that's the front. Not a big deal. So, moving on to the back. Made my arms break. Oof. So, for me, dropping things. For me, this is the thickest part of my hair. So it's the place where I need to put the most curlers, rollers, whatever you want to call them. So I usually do 4 across the top row. And again, I'm trying to line these up so that this row is lined up here, right? So I've got one nice wave all the way around. So the question I get asked most often about my hair, once people find out that I do this, is how do you sleep on it? And honestly, putting in more rollers is usually the key, because then you're not, the problem isn't the rollers themselves because they're squishy. The problem is the plastic clips, and when they're all together like this, you're not kind of having soft foam clip knocking into your head. You're just having soft foam all the way across. Works for me. Okay, I usually do 3, but apparently I've only done 2 this time. So sometimes what I will also do is kind of do one that's a little bit offset. Again, we're at the back of my head here. This is the part where really, as long as it's got some body to it, you can't really see what's going on because it'll be under the layers on top. Oh my goodness, my arms hurt. By the time I finish this, typically my arms have had it. They're done. They would like to be done. 2 more. We can do 2 more. All right, so did I miss one? Nope, everybody's in. So that is the actual rollers in. In summer, typically, I try not to put a scarf on until quite a bit later into the night, just to kind of give them a chance to dry as much as possible. Otherwise, sometimes they don't dry by morning, which, you know, isn't fun. Or sometimes I'll just put a hairnet over, but I don't have any right now. All right, so I'll see you in the morning. Good morning. So I thought I would leave this to show you what my scarf usually looks like when I get up in the morning. As you may have noticed, I'm a slightly more active sleeper than other people. And yeah, so I usually sometimes I wake up with it off altogether. Sometimes, very, very rarely, it's actually properly on my head, but most of the time it's kind of half on, half off. All right, so despite having wiggled off to one side, the scarf did its job. The point of the scarf is 3 or 4 different things. It's to cover up the rollers and just make you look less crazy. Not sure how much it succeeds at that one. It also helps to, as you move in the night, make sure your curls don't frizz up, which is what you can see here. And it also, for me at least, I find it more comfortable to sleep on because, again, it keeps the rollers where they are against your head so that when you move, they don't like pull at the root of your hair. So, where do we start? We do this in exact reverse order as to how we put them in. As I'm unrolling them, I usually do this. Honestly, I learned that from a Jessica Kellgren-Fozard video, and I find it helps the ends to be less frizzy. Awesome. Like I said, when I put them in, these are usually the thickest curls, and if they're dry, I know everything else is fully dry. So the reason everything needs to be fully dry, for those who've never tried this, is that if your curls are even a little bit still damp, they will fall out either during the brush out process or during the day. This happens sometimes too. I've completely lost the clip off of this one. It was on the side that had fallen off, so that makes sense. It's probably in my bed somewhere. All right. I usually leave these 2 in while I deal with the rest because this is where I want to get the most kind of volume and height. So, and we brush. This is the Ion brand brush from Sally Beauty. It's a knockoff Denman. It costs me about $15, which, considering a Denman's like almost $40 in Canada, is a good trade-off. It's got a nice weight to it, and it really has those bristles that you want. It doesn't have those little knobblies on the end that you get in a lot of the bristles in stores, which will really rip at your curls, I find. So, we brush. Gotta keep an eye on the time. I do actually have to go to work today. Alright, so let's take these last 2 out. So you can see how, because I pulled them to the side when I rolled them, they kind of stick up a bit. Alright, so first stage of brush out is done. You can see things are kind of starting to look a bit more like curls and less like, I don't know, Shirley Temple. This is pomade. I use Layrite. I got it on Amazon. I used to use another brand, but they discontinued it, which makes me sad because I preferred the other one. I find the Layrite does the job, but it really goops up all of my styling tools, so my brush and my comb. Which is the other nice thing about the Denman or knockoff Denman brushes, is that you can actually disassemble them to wash them, which you're like, yeah, okay, sure, but it's only my brush, why do I care? And then you look at it after a little while and you're like, oh, that's why. Okay. Woo. So now we're going to brush the pomade through. The pomade also smells really nice. I love the smell of this stuff. Also, it has a little pin up on the inside. Brush that pomade through. So you can see it kind of clumps hair together, gives it a nice shine. I was going to do some sort of poodly updo. This is also how that would work. Alright, so pomade brush through. You can see we're starting to kind of look like hair here. So now I want these little clippies. Which I'm then going to throw on the floor because I'm being a goofball. So, my roommate steals them to do her daughter's hair when she dyes it, so I have two currently, which is a problem. Anyway, so now we're going to do some back combing, and I was really worried when I started doing this that back combing was going to damage my hair, and it could if you're not careful. So I have a back comb. Comes in like a set by, I think, Goody, with a little brush. I'm trying to see if the name is still written on either of them. So that's my little teasing brush. Alright, obviously I'm not used to doing this with a microphone. Hang on, tea break. Alright, back to the hair. Alright, so take my woof, my queef, my whatever the hell, not queef. Alright, so I take this hair on the top, I flip it back to this side, and I very gently backcomb it and then put it over here. And just kind of very gently. So the goal here is just to add body, it's not to tangle it. And that's kind of the trick of the whole thing. I'm going to do a little bit on this side, same idea. So once I've backcombed it, I kind of put it up so I can get to the next little piece. Woo, and then we're going to move over and do this bit. Hang on, that's my alarm. Alright, so now we have body. So I'm going to brush out this back a little bit more. Alright, so I'm going to switch to this brush now. See, as you can see, the bristles are really, really small. So the goal is that it's going to brush the top, but not actually undo all the back combing I just did. So the goal here is to kind of take this and use this little clippy thing to kind of sculpt it. So we move over here. Whee! There we go. I really wish I had more of these right now. I'm really quite cranky. Oh, there's at least one more. These are pin curl clips, and I have used them for this on occasion. They're not as good because they're too damn short, but you know, needs must and all that jazz. I'm gonna take this last one of these I found so that you can kind of see now I've formed those waves. The pomade will help that set, and I'm gonna reach into my magical cupboard here. If anyone has more environmentally friendly ideas for hairspray that works for this kind of thing, let me know, because I hate using this stuff, but at the same time I have not been able to find anything else that works. Okay. Take the clips out. So you can see now I've got my waves sculpted, mostly. Technically, if you're really good at this, you should be able to stop at this point and be like, yes, that is all done. However, that has literally never happened to me in the, 3 years I've been doing this, so I usually end up giving it one more little brush out of kind of bits and pieces. Again, I'm still working quite carefully to try to not take out all that back combing I did. It's not the best. Like I said yesterday when I was putting these in, I badly need a haircut, which is why the ends are looking the way they are, but even then, it still looks better like this than it does like a lot of other ways I could style it, you know? There. And that's my brush out. So, I'm gonna go get dressed, throw some makeup on, and we will wind this up. And that's that. I'm ready to head off to work. I got my hair done, I got my makeup on, I got my earrings in, and I'll see you next time. Bye, friends. Remember to like, share, subscribe, do all the YouTube things down below. Question of the day: have you ever tried a vintage hairstyle? Would you want to?